Where are you from?
I'm from upstate New York.
And still living there?
No, I live in Atlanta, Georgia now. Shouts out to the A.
And how old were you when you moved?
About 17.
And what was the reason for the move?
Just looking for something new. I was chasing music, chasing a dream, and just packed it up and said I'm gonna leave and go to Atlanta, man, see what they got to offer me.
So a career decision?
Yeah, I'd say it's a career.
When you say you're from upstate New York, what part exactly?
The capital region, Schenectady, New York.
Okay.
518.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, what was it like for you living in upstate New York in that city, which I can't pronounce, and Atlanta? Paint the picture for us.
Well, I'm going to say this, all right? A lot of people don't know. It's the same high school Pat Riley went to.
Okay.
We actually did good for basketball, 2001, I believe it was. Team went all the way to the finals, did their thing. Man, growing up in Schenectady, rough, you know, a lot of parents, a lot of people don't really have much. You know, it's not much to really offer. You know, it's like the type of place that you can think of when it comes to fast food. You got probably about 4 choices. So it's like, you know, you can just imagine the type of town it is. But, you know, it's real, real rough. You know, we went through a lot. We did a lot, you know. Damn, I remember some of my early days there, you know, going through so much around the time with the Cleaners and FEB, 2 gangs that was running around, local gangs. And, you know, it was just rough, man, real, real rough.
What was your roughest moment growing up?
The roughest moment was probably being in foster care.
Tell me about that. How did that happen?
Mother, always addicted to drugs, still is to this day, but, you know, we bear with it. I feel like I wouldn't know her if she probably wasn't on it, you know what I mean? But she was addicted, my whole family, you know, they was selling drugs, doing drugs. It was around the time of the 80s, you know, where, you know, crack kind of hit in the ghetto and stuff. It started hitting real hard, so. You know, we went to foster care. To me, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I learned, you know, that's when I was inspired to do music, inspired to be an actor, just everything, man.
How old were you when you got into foster care?
6.
And you remained there until 18, or?
I remained there until about 13. And then I went to live with my mother for the first time ever, from 13 to about roughly 15. Things didn't really work out. So I had a foster dad. He's an older white guy, man, bless his heart. He came in and he really seen so much potential in me, and he backed me, you know what I mean? He backed me in life. And he just was there for me, and he made it easier for me. Put me in an apartment. You know, once I got into the apartment, you know, he made me get out and go work for it now. You know, I'll help you a little bit, but you got to help yourself. So.
When you were put into foster care, were you taken away from your mother, or your mother volunteered? Hey.
No, we were taken away.
Okay.
We were taken away. She went to prison at the time.
Ah.
Yeah, Albion.
What did she go to prison for?
Drug charges, I want to say it was.
How long did she do?
2 years, maybe. 3.
Okay.
Somewhere roughly around there.
Did you stay in communication with her while she was doing her prison stint?
No, only because we weren't able to. She wrote, you know, from time to time. You know, we'll read, you know, they'll read us letters and stuff. But I was so young.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like.
I could see that.
The social worker we had, you know, Harris Cone, shouts out to him, man. He was a good guy, you know. He always was there for me. You know, he kind of gave me the messages from her to me, you know. So that's how I stayed in communication.
When you say you're in foster care, are you in adopted by a family, or are you in a group home?
At this time, no, I'm in an actual foster home where I left from a facility, and we go to the foster house, the foster home, and we meet the family for the first time, and we stay.
And you stay there the whole time from?
Well, no.
Okay.
Certain families, you know, things didn't work out. I don't know, you know, what it was. Maybe they felt like it didn't work out, but I know, you know, certain places, you know, we were taken out of fast as 2 days, you know. Sometimes maybe 2 weeks we'll stay, you know, and then we'll go somewhere else. Like, We bounced around a little bit. It was me and my sister, but we bounced around a little bit.
What was the longest period you stayed with somebody under the foster care system?
About 2 years. Yeah.
Wow, so you were bouncing down that much?
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds tough.
Nah, it was, but you know, honestly, it made me who I am. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you know, certain things you go through in life make you who you are. I always say that's the reason I probably become a great actor one day. Because you got so many families that you kind of got to go into their house and just adapt to just being there, that it brings things out of you that you never knew you had.
When you first started talking about the foster care system, you kind of made it sound positive. I've heard some nightmarish stories dealing with the foster care system.
It has been some nightmares. It has, but like I said, the biggest blessing out of it is meeting the wonderful, you know, family that did, you know, take me in and really be there for me. You know, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would know what love was.
Okay, so your mother's in jail, well, prison for 2 years.
Yeah.
When she gets out, obviously you're still in foster care several years later before you rejoin with her again.
Yes, because she couldn't really have communication with us just yet. She had to go through, you know, visitations and stuff like that.
I see. So you were getting visits with her throughout this whole entire process?
Yeah, from time to time when she did come home, yes. But it was like we had to go to the facility and visit her there.
I see.
She couldn't know where we lived. Like, they would prep us to make sure that we, you know, didn't give her our address or, you know, where we went to school and things of that nature.
Whose decision at 15 was it to reconnect with her?
No, it was at 13.
13, I'm sorry.
It was it was hers, you know. She went hard and did everything that she was supposed to do in order to get us back. You know, she stayed clean and, you know, she really stepped up. And at that time I went and we lived with her and whatnot, and you know, that's when it was just, for me, it was a nightmare, because I was at a certain age where, you know, her trying to put the authority down was just like, she was a newcomer to it. She didn't really even know, you know? So, but she tried, you know?
At 15, where do you go?
I moved around the corner. You know, they had little apartments that were in like a room and house type of ordeal, but they were your own apartments and stuff. They only ran probably maybe like $300 a month. And it was just...
15 years old in your own apartment, that is very young.
Well, you know, in New York, it's a little different too as well. You know, they're not big on the background checks, and you know, at this time, it's like, you know, it's just, you got the money, come on.
I see.
So.
Dealing with the foster care system in general, what's your biggest pet peeve with it? Bothers you the most about it? Looking back at your experience.
Bothers me the most about the system, I would have to say, is just almost feeling like you're locked up.
I've heard that before. You
know, like, just because, you know, like, you got to remember, I have a bunch of cousins out here. I have a bunch of brothers and sisters out here. You know, I have a lot of family out here, aunts that I'm close to, that you're telling me I cannot have any contact with. Grandmother, grandfather, nobody, you know? So it's just, you know, it makes you it does make you feel locked up, you know? Honestly, I mean, probably beyond locked up, because at least locked up, you know, you can come visit. So, you know, in this ordeal, it just has you there like, what do I do? You know, and it makes you depend on you.
I didn't know that. I thought maybe when you have an issue with your mother, it's just your mother, but I guess other people tied to your mother you couldn't see either, huh?
No.
Probably for your own protection.
Yeah. But I'm thinking maybe in that case, too, it could have been because, you know, everybody got locked up for the same things around that time, too. So
got you.
It was kind of like, you know, everybody's kids got taken. All my cousins, everybody got taken.
Now, what do you make of the foster care, the U.S. foster care system in general? Is it decent? Is it okay? Is there any improvements that you would, you know, comment on that they could do better with?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't even been in tune with it, with the foster care system in years.
But from your experience of what
from my experience of it, at the time, I can say it did do good. And the reason why I say is because, like I said, I did have people like my social worker who, you know, I don't even know if he had a family because he spent so much time trying to be there, you know? It meant a lot.
Somebody watching this interview, listening to your story, thinking, well, they have to find out that they're about to be placed or they're going to be placed and maybe they're already placed and they're just experiencing for the first time, what are some do's and don'ts in foster care, or some words of advice you would tell a young person relative same age that
one of
has
the
to deal with
do's
this?
one of the do's I would say is communicate a lot. That's a big do, and the reason why I say communicate a lot is because you are with people that you really don't know, and you really want to know a lot about them. You want them to know a lot about you. Some of the don'ts, I would probably say, don't go in with the same level head that you went in the last one with. You know, keep a clear head. You know, just don't switch up the way that you kind of, you know, do things in life when you go into this situation. You know, just kind of like, just make it a little different. You know what I mean?
Anything
Just
else?
make it a little different. No, that'd probably be it.
All right, what type of student were you in school growing up?
Class clown. Class clown. Always getting suspended. Always in school. But definitely passing. I was definitely passing.
Never expelled?
Yeah, I did get expelled.
For what?
I want to say being tardy and not taking school serious, pretty much.
You had to go to alternative school after that?
Yeah.
You finished out with alternative school, or you got back into
with
regular
alternative school? They kicked me out of alternative school. After alternative school, honestly, I packed up and moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
So you graduated or you dropped out of high school?
I dropped out.
What year? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior?
So senior, actually.
Just about done and
Just
you dropped out?
Beginning, yeah.
Why? You're right there. You're almost to the diploma.
When the principal kicked me out of the high school, I didn't really understand what I was supposed to do, and it was kind of funny because, you know, having so many great people around me, I still did not know what I was supposed to do. So I just went to the alternative school, you know. And then at that time when I was going to the alternative school, it seemed to me more like a big playground. So it was kind of like you get sucked up.
So after you drop out, you concentrate on music, or are you in the streets doing street things and doing music at the same time, or what?
I'm always in the streets. I was always in the streets. That was my biggest problem, honestly. My uncle used to have a saying for me every time he see me, like, the streets are gonna be here when you're dead and gone. These same streets, and you trying to run them, and you can't, you know. And it just, I just loved running the streets. I remember, you know, I lived around a top chef, and he was trying to just teach me how to cook, and I never would want to learn because I want to run the streets. I don't want to sit in no kitchen, you know what I mean? So,
looking back, dealing with the streets, was that unavoidable? Could you have made another decision, or why go that route?
You always can make another decision. It was the fun route for me, you know what I mean? It was the fun route. On top of it being the fun route, it was the route where it produced the money. You know, growing up, we ain't had no money. Ain't nobody had no money. You know what I mean? So we got to get out there and try to really figure out how we gonna get it. You know what I mean? So,
if you could do it all over again, would you have let it played out the way it did, or would you have finished school?
Honestly, no, I wouldn't have. I would have finished school. I would have. Things would have been a lot different.
What would you have done? Finished school. Anything else?
Finished school, went to college.
Okay.
You know, I had the chance to do it all. I mean, there was no limits to what I could do, you know.
What do you say to somebody watching this, kid in high school, about to finish, they've got one foot in the streets, school's about up, they got to make the next decision in their life? What do you tell them?
The streets ain't worth it. It's only cool for the moment, you know. It's like it's cool for the day, but you got all school year. So the streets is not going nowhere. You know what I mean?
What about the kid that wants to get into music? Not necessarily in front of the camera like a rapper or a singer, but let's say any other position in music industry, music business. Let's say somebody really wants to get into music after high school's ending. Do you tell them go right for the music, or do you tell them to continue their education, do music simultaneously?
I tell them follow their heart. You know, follow whatever you feel is right for you. No one could ever tell you what's right for you. You know, if you're not meant to go to college, you're not meant to go. It's not for everybody, you know.
Jobs you had growing up, if any?
Newspaper. I grew up, my foster dad owned the newspaper place around town where I'm from. Always, you know, did the newspaper delivery. I was nursing home. I did a nursing home. I was a dishwasher there for probably about 2 weeks.
You quit these jobs? Got fired from these jobs? What happened?
No, I quit the dishwasher job. My dad's job, you know, I've always had. I always was able to do that, but I didn't. I just outgrew it, you know.
Any crazy stories dealing with any of these jobs? Anything out of the norm?
No, it was pretty simple. It was pretty. I mean, I used to have problems at the newspaper place. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I was young, and like I said, we coming up, we didn't really have much. So when you're given certain opportunities as a young black kid from the hood, we go after the wrong opportunity, and I did that. And I started, you know, taking money and stealing from like all of the employees that worked for him, you know. And he showed me true love when he did not turn his back on me and say, go back to the hood, or, you know what I'm saying, or just never deal with me again, you know. He stepped up, and same time, you know, 2 years later, same thing. I get caught for my first charge, you know, I go to jail for selling weed. He's right there, you know what I mean? And he's so anti-drug, so, you know, I played a lot. Like I said, always in the streets, man, just always moving, so no, nothing really was crazy about them jobs.
Speaking of your foster dad, what was his reaction when you quit, well, when you stopped going to school, high school?
Very angry. You know, him and everybody, you know, comes from, you know, they've went on to do so many great things. So, you know, like his niece, she's a graduate of Harvard. You know, just so many great things that come out of their family. So, you know, he expected a lot more from me. You know.
Are you still in touch with him today?
Oh, we talk every day.
What about your mom?
Yeah, we talk every day. Yeah.
She still hasn't kicked the habit yet?
No, she hasn't. But I still love her, and, you know, I'm still willing to be patient with her and work with her, and I'm here for her. And, you know, she's a party animal.
What drug is she?
Crack cocaine.
Now, sometimes when I talk to people about their parents having a drug habit, I get two responses usually. One response is, I was way too hard on my parent, dealing with the habit. Other people say, they didn't do enough, maybe. Yeah. You know, I don't know if there's some feelings of guilt or anything with that, but, you know, I get that type of sense with that type of answer. How do you react when you hear those?
Well, thanks to a guy by the name of Scoop, I've went through a lot of psychological analysis with him, and, you know, I've grown to understand her. I really understand her. Like, even when she doesn't say it, I understand her. So it's like, I don't have no anger towards her. I don't have no anger for her not being there. I don't have no anger for her choosing a drug. Like, I don't have no anger there for none of it. I understand. It's hard out here. It really is. It's a hard life. And you just never knew what she was going through at the time. So you just can't, you know. I understand her. I don't blame her.
What do you say to somebody watching this and they have to deal with a parent that is on a drug, and a drug addiction? What do you say to that? What's the advice?
Get to know them, you know. Get to know them. Everything's not going to be good, trust me. It's going to be a lot of bad things. But get to know them so you at least know how to deal with them.
What happened to your real father, biological father?
My biological father, I met him when I turned about 16. Found out he had over 36 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So at that time, I started finding I had a lot of brothers and sisters. Kind of weird, you know. Never expected it coming.
Still in touch with him today or no?
Me and him really don't talk, only because, like, I grew up with someone else as my dad my whole life. And then I grew up having my foster dad my whole life. So it was kind of like, I was all dadded up, you know what I mean? I had enough dads, and, you know, I kind of, when I first met him, I did kind of like hang around him to try to get to know him. And I felt like he rejected me a lot, you know? So once I felt rejected, it's like, with me, I mean, certain things once I'm over it, I'm good. Like, I'm able to smile, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, once he rejected me, it was like, I'm good on that. I don't really need to make the relationship. It's fine. I respect him a lot. I do.
How old were your parents when they separated?
Well, they never really were together.
Okay.
My mother was about 17. My dad was probably older, about maybe 38 and 39. They met. He owned a store in the town. She used to always come by to the store. I guess they met, and she went down to Florida and found out she was pregnant. Yeah.
Now, you had a sister with your mom. And then on your dad's side, there's 36 kids. Are you close with any of the 36?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, very.
Anybody else in your family, your entire family, anybody else raps besides you or just yourself?
Yeah. My brother, he raps too. He's pretty dope too.
Have you guys collabed?
No, we haven't collabed yet. It just never presented itself like that yet. But I listen to his shit a lot. He listens to my stuff a lot, you know. He's a big fan, I'm a big fan, so.
What does your family think about your rap career?
In the beginning, they were all kind of against it. A lot of them thought I could do more. I had potential to do more with my life, they felt like. But this is what makes me happy, and this is what I feel like I'm here to do. Like, I don't know me doing nothing else, you know, like, so. They're more with it now, though.
Your foster dad, is he supportive of it at all?
Oh, yes, he's supportive, yes.
From the beginning, or you had to warm up to it?
Nah, I had to work him up. I had to work him there.
Has he ever seen you perform?
No, he's never seen me perform. He's old. He's about 75. He's never seen me perform yet. He does see the videos.
What does he think? What's the reaction?
He loves it. He loves it. He hears the songs. He loves it. He refers to me as being a soprano.
Your mom, has she seen you perform at all yet?
No, she actually hasn't seen me perform yet either. No, she's seen the videos though, and she loves the songs.
Now, in regards to your foster dad or your biological mom, what's the worst thing you put them through?
Oh, man. I mean, when it comes to my foster dad, I honestly don't even know where to start. I've put him through everything you can imagine. I got hit with a gun charge. He had to bail me out. Drug charge. He had to bail me out. Probation looking for me. He's looking for me. Skipping school. Just, man, anything you can pretty much say, I done did it. I done put him through it, and it was more so because, you know, you gotta look at the mentality of what I was going through at the time. I'm a young black kid living in a house with an older white guy who doesn't understand me, I'm feeling like, and I have other foreign, you know, students there too that go to college. So, you know, there's a student there from China, there's a student here from Denmark, you know, there's students from all over. So it's like I just had a room there, and I'm going to high school from there, and it was just different, you know. Like I threw parties every day. He would keep he would have the officers keep an eye out on the house, you know, like things like that. Like he was just, man, I put him through a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, God bless his heart though, man. He stuck with me throughout it all. He showed me real love.
Okay, now we talked about a variety of subjects in regards to your upbringing, but generally speaking, what's your message to the youth? What would you tell them today?
Stay positive, man. Stay down for what you believe in. You know, go hard for what you want. Don't let everything out here that look attracting really kind of, you know, just kind of stir you in that direction, because it's so many distractions out here from doing the right thing. You know, and that's why it's important to be one-on-one with yourself so that you can understand what are the important things in your life that you need to deal with. And once you figure them out, you got to go for them. And you can't let nobody stop you, you know.